brooding German opera. That's what it is.
It's a mystery. It's a whodunit.
It's a fairy tale, basically, but not a fairy tale in the soft tale. I'm talking Brothers Grimm, Brothers Grimmer.
Basically, when everything is stripped away, it breaks down to a love story.
Somewhere at the back of your head, there's something that drives people, however bad or good they are. There's a sense of justice, there's a sense of right, there's a sense of wrong, and there's this sense that if we only could have another chance, we could put the wrong things right.
The joy of acting is really going to the other side, to truly leave your reality and go to another one. But all the while, you know this is pretend, but it's exciting to go completely to a place in the imaginary world that you never would go to in reality.
Certainly in genre pieces like this, people that come into supernatural powers, they don't seem very surprised by it. And that's what I was intrigued by, that it was a kid with a new toy, but you know, with these new powers and the toys, you know, they don't come freely. You know, it's like the moment of bliss and being able to, you know, rip my hands up with razor wire, or be shot, or jump from a building. It's very short in the film because the remembrance of my loss comes flooding in.
The reason I like The Crow is you can't really define it in a genre. It's not a horror movie. It's not science fiction. And, you know, maybe it's a fantasy movie of some sort.
I'm pretty impressed with Barrett's direction, and has some really nice camera work in it. And I think they went for a kind of like a smaller, more introspective story. It's not all explosions and you know, one action scene after another.
Quiet.
We were looking for a youthful, cutting-edge director who had a brilliant eye for cinema, because as much as the Crow movies are about heartfelt stories, they're also about visual panache and storytelling in a visual motif. And his style reminded us of a young Alfred Hitchcock meeting a young Ridley Scott.
And cut! Cut! He's one of those directors who just will come in and just drop a little pearl into you, and you look at him and you think, fantastic. You're on the same page with me. This is excellent. And then he'll leave you alone, and then he'll back off and let you do your stuff.
I mean, all actors are needy, but he, you know, let me stand alone and reassured me, and I was able to really act as an independent force.
Should I run ahead?
No, I don't think so. I think Dad, it's kind of a weird one. We've got to get Dad to you somehow.
He's the calmest director I've ever worked with. I've never seen this man raise his voice once. He's so calm. He knows what he wants to do. He knows all the shots and everything, and he's so focused.
Barrett was there as the, like, invisible binding force. Kept people from taking themselves too seriously. Things get very intense and tense on set, and Barrett sort of walked away and exhaled one day and said, it's just a film, people. It's just a film.
Jump out of the tree. Really? You being serious?
Obviously not.
They said, who would be your first choice? And I said, well, there's this kid called Erin Mabius who was in Welcome to the Dollhouse, and he's a really strong actor. He's got real chops. He's a good-looking guy, but he can act. He came in and blew us all away. Producers were in that audition. I was there. The casting director was there, and it was an amazing audition. And we thought, well, it was lucky. Let's try it again. He went away, came back, did exactly the same thing.
When I first came on the set, I was watching him through the monitor, and I hadn't met him yet. And he just had one little moment where some people were chasing him, and he cocked his head. As soon as he did this head movement, I thought, he's an actor. He's incorporating movements that a bird would have.
A lot of the dialogue and things that are in these films can seem ridiculous or ludicrous if they're not read the right way, if they're not read with the proper sincerity. And I think he really pulls it off on all the things I've seen.
I like actors that question everything, and he questions everything. Boy, does he question everything. He wants to know everything about everything.
Spent a lot of time working on what it's like to be facing death what death row inmates go through. And those that are innocent, that are there, was something also I had to wrestle with, and what that must be like.
He brings the script to work with him, and it's like, I mean, it is the most intricate detail of working for words and research, and I mean, it's like a work of art. I would rush over and look at his script and go, yeah, right, can we work this one out, and this is how we do it.
And action.
Jodie Lynn had tough shoes to fill.
She's got a lot to do in a little time, and people fall in love with her instantly.
You're going down, brother.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
She had to come in, shoot all of her scenes in a week. Which is art, you know, okay, you know, actors do that, no big deal, whatever. But they're intense scenes to begin with. She had to come in the first scene and bawl her eyes out.
I think she came on the set the day before we shot that scene. So here you are with 4 guys who have been together for weeks now and been enjoying playing bad guys and getting into the dirt of it. And here comes this beautiful woman who just flew in from San Francisco the day before. 4 guys rape her and just slaughter her.
Originally, I thought, you know, as I said to Barrett in the very beginning, you know, I don't think that Toomey and I are in this for murder. We're here to make money and, you know, prostitution and everything like that. But the bottom line is money, and that's it. And Barrett said, no, you know, this is your pot of gold. This is your thing, and someone has discovered and found out, and there's a chance that you're going to lose it, and you're going to save it at all costs. So I disagree with you, and he was right. And when we actually filmed that, it was so real.
There's nothing really overt about the violence. They're not just displays of, you know, Sam Peckinpah slow motion shootouts.
The tragedy that had occurred in James Abar's life that gave birth to these characters was, I never realized, you know, that was based in truth in his own life and his fiancée.
As I'm getting older, I'm trying to bring patience into my life and leave violence as a last resort.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, gotcha.
Yeah, the success of The Crow has definitely changed my life. It's opened up, you know, all new avenues of me for friends, and I can go to like any state in the U.S. now, and there's people I know, people I could stay with if I want. These are people that I probably never would have become acquainted with if, you know, if they hadn't had the success of the book or the films.